When God created the cosmos, the intention was that all men and women would live in harmony. Would live in harmony with God, with neighbor, and with nature. As time went by, the selflessness that God envisioned became individualism, became concern for the self to such an extent that the neighbor was forgotten, that all others were forgotten, and the self was counted as all important. The focus was on the self, that it was as if the neighbor did not exist, or if one neighbor existed, I was oblivious of this neighbor. Time went by, and things began to deteriorate even further. And this is the theme of the readings of today, when God says in the first reading that He has to come again to gather all the nations together. God will make no distinction whatever between color and caste and creed and religion, because it is God's intention that the whole human family should be one. The distinctions that we sometimes make between this group and that group is resulting in a break and division in the human family. It is them versus us, and we against they, rather than all of us together. In the gospel text of today, Jesus calls those who ask Him, Lord, will only there be few who will be saved? To say no. Everyone has the potential to be saved, but the person must want to be saved, because God is not going to save anyone against their will. God is not going to force anyone to come to His kingdom. God is not going to force anyone to be part of this beautiful family which lives in harmony. That decision has to be made by each individual and alone. That is why in the gospel of today, Jesus exhorts His disciples and those listening to Him to enter by the narrow door. What does it mean to enter by the narrow door? The broad door, Jesus says, is a door along which many would like to go because they imagine that life there is easier. It is easier to live a self-centered life. It is easier to live a selfish life. It is easier to live a life in which I keep accumulating and gathering without sharing. The narrow door is the door of the gospel, of the good news, which shows that God is father and mother of every human being, and which shows, therefore, that every human being is my brother and sister and mother and father. It shows that I show my concern for this human being who is part of me. It shows that there is interconnectedness among us. It shows that there is no individualism or selfishness. Rather, it shows that there is harmony in the cosmos. This is the world to which the Lord is inviting us. This is the road which the Lord is inviting us to take, so that when we stand before the Lord, as the Hebrews says, with so many other witnesses who have suffered and gone through great ordeals, we will be able to hold our heads up high. We will be able to say to the Lord that we have lived lives of harmony. We have done our bit in co-creating this cosmos which the Lord has created. And so today is a chance and a challenge to renew once again our relationships on this threefold level. To renew our relationship with God, first of all, by acknowledging that for everything and anything we are dependent on God. By realizing that we are not independent, not merely individuals, but individuals of one large family which the Lord has created the human family. The second level on which we renew our relationships is the level of other human beings around me. I look at them with love. I look at them as brother or sister. I look at them as living together in harmony in this beautiful cosmos which we have been entrusted with. And the third relationship I build is the relationship with nature, with the world around me, with the animals and the birds and the trees and the plants and the fish and the sea and everything which is so beautiful. I live in harmony with that, which means that I do not destroy unnecessarily. I do not overuse unnecessarily. I do not use selfishly. I use selflessly, responsibly, and as a trustee. Let us pray then that our relationship with God, with neighbor, and with the universe might be renewed.